day, Outposters. As you can see, we're in a different setting today. We have something very special lined up that is not limited to, but is including, most likely, cat through visits. As you may have just heard, they are in silly mode. So, we are in the Outpost's living room today because we are going to look at something very large. I'm surrounded by lights in all directions, so I'm wearing sunglasses because it's super bright in here. As you can see, you're on we'll call it a tripod, about 3 feet off the ground, 3.5, because the object we're looking at today is 3 to 3.5 feet tall. And when I move you off the soundstage, I'll move the main object on the main artifact, I should say, because we're curators here. Ooh. Biscuit count 1 and 2. This is going to be a good one. I can feel it. He's getting over a little bit of a bronchial issue, so he sounds kind of funny. It'll be adorable. Also, it is a very windy, rainy, beginning of fall day outside today. So, oh, precious. You'll hear some delicious ambient noises from outside, as well as slippers on floor, because I have to move around this object. This will be even more auditorially engaging than usual. I am not monitoring any of the audio. As you can see, the cord is not plugged in. So this is going to be an experiment for both of us. So without further ado, I remove you from the view stage, and we move the object on. This is an empty U.S. military ordnance storage and transportation tube. It is enormous, and there is almost no practical use for this I can think of, except sitting in my house and freaking out everyone who comes over and notices it. Realizes that it's not a very green vase stand, but is in fact decommissioned U.S. military property. I did not purchase this. I purchased something much more expensive and ill-advised. And I was at the store. I was at the store the other day, and something caught my eye that I just could not live without. And maybe if we're super cool, someday you guys will get to see that too. But as it stands right now, I saw this thing, and I said, I want it. I'll take it. And I checked out very fast, much faster than the owners of the store expected me to be able to. So, while I was walking out with my very, very large new purchase, The owner chased me down and said, essentially, bro, wow, thank you. I don't know who you are, but that was crazy. Here, have one on the house. So now I have this thing. And we're going to take a look at it because there's absolutely nothing else I can do with it. First thing we're going to do, though, is Geiger counter it, because I am not messing around with like a spent uranium anything. If this was used to store any radioactive equipment, this thing is immediately going outside. So let's really, really hope it doesn't pop some rads, right? First thing we gotta do is get it open. We can give you a good look at some of the other stuff here. There was a bit of a tag on it at one point, it looks like, but all I get out of it is it probably said round missile container, American products great again. Dimensions 4. Yeah, it's 4 something, all right. Empty MTL can. There was some actual other information underneath that, but it seems they've attempted to cover up what this was originally containing. NSS 13 blah blah blah. I really don't care. What's this? US DOD AYD. Well, I know 2 out of 3 of those. CZE. Before anyone asks, I have absolutely no association with the government, any military or paramilitary organizations. I'm not a Fed, even though that's what a Fed would say. I've never been a cop. I've never been in the military. I will attempt to make no claims of valor of any kind. Ever. I just like cool dude shit. Alright, so those were all the markings. I set it down on the wrong side. This is where we need to be. Psst, psst. Wesley. I think Wesley's a mite scared of TOOB. That's Wesley. There he is. That's him. That's the one that's always screaming outside the sound studio. So now you know. Alright. So. This is the side that opens. Cotter pin. This pops in somewhere to give it a little extra do not open. But I have absolutely no idea where that would slot. Maybe here? It looks like there's a hole right there. But I'm not trying to get it more closed, I'm trying to get it more open. I've already fondled with this thing a bit because it would, I mean, you'd have to. You can't just bring something like this. I keep bumping the camera with my face onto a soundstage without knowing what it'd do. So, here's hoping I don't have to cut. I believe I am making the most US military themed lid sounds ever captured in an ASMR video. Rocket launcher tube lid sounds. We're all about firsts here at the Outpost. So it looks like this is an off-center rotating pin pressure seal. So that means there is a specific point that this needs to be turned to be able to open the lid, and that is exactly it, right there. Oh, the cotter pin's in the way. Boy, that has a smell. Here's the lid. This is easily several pounds. No, not several. Probably 2. Let's say 2 pounds. Maybe 3. Need to pause and go get gloves. But before we get too carried away, we will come back to this. We need to Geiger counter this MFer right quick. There's going to be some obnoxious noises, so I will have to do a bit of editing after this, but I know you'll forgive me. So, CPM, I believe, is sieverts per minute. An acceptable CPM for background radiation is comfortably sub 30 after 2 or 3 minutes of, not calibration, that's not the right word, exposure. So actually, I'm gonna hold this off for a minute while the tubes warm up. I'm not an expert on radiation or Geiger counters at all. So a lot of what I do and say might just be anecdotal, but I believe there's a calibration period where you don't want it to be absolutely saturated with radiation while the tubes are warming up. Or maybe it's just that they don't give you an accurate reading while they're warming up. Either way, you're not supposed to be using it for the first, 15, 30 seconds, a minute if you're being really picky. I don't really care, because if this thing doesn't start screaming, we're good. And it's not. And I know this works. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's a Cooper. That's the little one that's always in the closet with me whenever I'm like, oh, hey, a cat. He really loves sleeping in the closet. And there goes Biscuit again. Mr. Big Boat. He is very bented. Just letting this thing absorb some of the background noises while we absorb the background radiation. You might have heard the leaves rustle, cats climbing around the house as they realize I'm not going to chase them around while they do irritating stuff. Biscuit softly cooing to himself because he thinks he's a bird. Man, we good. This thing's safe of radiation. it might be contaminated with something else, something chemicalogical, but I don't have anything that tests for that, so. This was a commercially available product at a real public business, so I'm really not too concerned. But also, thalidomide was a real product on the market for a little while, so trust but verify. I'm gonna go set this down. We have some more codes and stuff in here. DODIC lot. I've mentioned this a couple times, but I like to cultivate a sense of whimsy, wonder in my life through the simplest, easiest means possible. Just don't look everything up. Gives you something to do on a rainy day. Someday I'll figure out what was in this, because there's enough information all over this tube, but I don't care. Right now. But if you do, you can look it up for me, because that'd bring me a lot of whimsy and wonder too. Or, better yet, if you're some kind of cool action guy and you just know offhand what this was for, let me know, dog. That's awesome. So this kind of comes out a little bit. It's like an inner tube, but I haven't been able to get it out. And I'm not going to try very hard, because it doesn't exactly sound great. But, hold on. This thing definitely held something. Something kind of conical. You know, rocket shaped. This would make sense if this is how you get a rocket out of here. Just pull it up. But again, I'm not attempting to free any long trapped desert mummy sand, wherever the hell this thing went. It's not beige, so maybe it didn't come back from Afghanistan or something. But that's kind of a cool noise there. I have some fun ideas for what we can do with this for the no talking portion of the video, because we are quickly approaching it. Now that you have gotten a good look at le TOOB. Replace this to illuminate where it was. Yeah, that's about where it was. All right, thing one. We angle this at you and give it a little tappy-do. this back as much as possible. So that this can go as far back as possible. And you can come into frame a tiny little bit. Not bump a lot of things all at the same time, and it's kind of difficult, so I'm really sorry if the camera shakes. But also, I'm kind of in a fairly unstable building, so it's probably shaking just because I'm moving. Just like I'm hysterical, the building I live in is historical. It's probably over 100 years old, which is crazy for Florida. Oh no, did I just break kayfabe? I'm floating in space in my closet. Ooh, it's so cold out here. It's so cold in the deep south space. Southern space. I just realized I don't like the fact that we're staring at that sticker. In fact, I don't like the remnants of this sticker at all. Let me see if I can get any more off it off. Oopsie. It's just not coming off, Chief. Oh well. Scuff it. We'll just turn it. Feels like I'm doing some favors for the Jolly Green Giant. There, the missile. It's okay. You know where you are by knowing where you aren't. What did you just say to the missile? We're gonna go silent for a minute. You know what? I I've just made the very sudden impromptu decision that I'm gonna go find some gloves real quick. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna go find some gloves. Cause, I don't know what this is. I don't know how porous it is. It's not clean. Here we go. I don't even need to stop moving for you to be able to probably tell what you're looking at right now. Yeah, the classics. You can tell I've done a little bit of operating with them. They're not clean. In fact, I guarantee the surface of this glove is significantly more hazardous to your health than whatever's on this shit. Didn't clean this thing or my gloves. Assume this sleeve does come out, but I think it would be really loud to take it out. And again, I have cats, and I don't exactly want to get them like saran wrap poisoning or whatever the hell's in this thing. Hi, Biscuit. Saran wrap gas, if you know what I mean. Probably made by the same pharmaceutical company. Pharmaceutical? Chemical? Whatever. intrepid explorers over there, over there, looking between the couch and the bookshelf. Because I moved the couch like 2 feet further into the living room to make space, and it's blowing their little kitty minds. There's a whole new foot of room they've never explored, and they're gonna do it. ADHD switch it up. Let's make this a little visually interesting while we're not using it. Which side looks the coolest? Probably this one. How's that framed? Pretty good. Alright. I'll take it. So, here we have the lid. It is very large. And we're playing the thumbnail game right now. Oh, perfect. Psst, 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 psst. Cooper. Yeah. So, the lid, we got a pretty good look at it earlier, but we're going to look at it again, because now it's articulatable. As you can see, this enormous pin that seals it, when you turn it with this lever, this off-centered pin rotates from where it's applying pressure when it's down to not applying pressure when it's pulled back. So when this is open, this is rotated 180 away from its most depressed to its least depressed. Thus, it opens. Tension seal. Looks like there's a nice thick rubber gasket here. And then, of course, 2 inches of foam. It's crazy. It's a lot of foam. Wow, something just fell off that. That's pretty gross. There also seems to be some kind of pressure release valve, or could be. It looks like it's been kind of sealed up, because from this side it's just a screw going through. So I imagine it's just a place for the capability of a seal to be put.
You want to sniff?
I know you don't. That's why you're sitting over there and not coming over there. There's a cat immediately off stage staring at me. He does not like this one bit. I'm gonna have to do some market analysis after this. And the market. I'm gonna have to see if this is the first rocket launcher storage tube ASMR video ever made. Or what? I know this is a little squeaky, but I'm hoping it's a deep, kinda like that good, like when a lid goes like, I think you know what I mean. This is such thick metal. I'm hoping it has that like block and tackle feel. Big block and tackle, like for boat rigging. Huge, thick, clunky stuff. I don't know, it has like a really profound tingliness to me, because it has a profound sturdiness. Strong, well-built objects bring me a lot of solace. I'll probably never use this for anything, but I'll cherish having it. And it definitely enhanced the purchasing experience of the big thing. And now you guys get Rocket Tube ASMR, which I really hope you've never seen before, and it's frickin' blowing your mind right now. actually a little too in frame. There we go. have some mouth sounds while I'm here. Is this still ASMR? We're getting close to winding down on this because I'm starting to get a little sweaty. It's still Space Florida. It never actually gets cool around here. And my AC units have been off for almost an hour. For you, for me, they've been off for, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably like an hour and a half. It's going to be 2 hours by the time this is done. Make sure this is very well framed because this is actually pretty cool. So you gotta roll it all the way back. Actually, we can probably chill on this for a bit. Call this the pièce de résistance. The most military grade lit sounds ever recorded. If these military grade lit sounds don't blast your ASMR into space, you'll get a rebate from the government. Tingle immunity gotcha? Sign up today. Flying in a tacky Apache helicopter will definitely cure your tingle immunity. Remind you what we're doing here. was my ghost roommate using the toilet. It just does that every once in a while. It's pretty freaky. I'm alone right now. You would be able to hear anything else. You can probably hear the crows like 3 blocks over. They're roosting in a big old oak tree. Watch this. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. You can't rub yourself on that. I know you're afraid of the tube, but can you do the trick, Cooper? Where you put your head into my hand? Come on, just do it. Okay, there we go. I have trained this itty-bitty kitty to, whenever I put my hand out like this, about 1.5 feet off of any surface he could reasonably get on, he will get on it and stick his head into my hand for head pats. I trained him to do that. It is the most precious thing anyone has ever gotten a cat to do ever. And he just kinda did it for you, but he's really scared of this thing. And he really doesn't like it when the furniture moves. It confuses his little kitty brain. I wish I could just tilt my camera and show you guys like my bedroom and the 3 cats laying on the bed right now staring at me. It's really funny. But I'm not pointing my camera into my bedroom all willy-nilly. See how that sounds just for experimentation's sake. That's a nice complicated sound right there. Hopefully a little tiny bit of ambient comfortable whisper to the side. Adds to the experience of the once-in-a-lifetime U.S. military rocket launcher. No, rocket. Not rocket launcher. Rocket transport tube. Because I almost guarantee you've never seen anything like this before. Unless you were actually in the military. I've literally read articles about how ASM is being told that patients in treatment for PTSD are being informed by their therapists in some cases that ASMR is an option to self-soothe. So I've heard. I've never had a therapist tell me to do that. The missile knows where it is at all times. By knowing where it isn't, thus it can calculate where it needs to be based on where it isn't already. What did you just say about the missile? I'll have you know the missile graduated top in its sniper class in U.S. military sniper school and has 30,000 confirmed kills. The missile can find you on any continent. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, you're f***ed, kiddo. The consequences will never be the same. Thank you for visiting the Outpost. I hope you enjoyed these signals. And I'll see you next time.